Hey y'all, this is going to be an exciting vlog. Tune into the vlog. I want to remind you of GREENSTALK's Father Day sale. Hopefully you've seen my post in the community tab that they are having a major sale for Father's Day. By this point, I hope that you did something good for your father, for your dad in your life, for the man in your life. Sale is still going on until the 18th. So they have the Inventors Bundle, which is, I think it's 3 original size on the bottom and then 2 or 3 leaf size on the top. So it's like a blend of the leaf and the original. They have it on sale, the basket weave and the original texture. Plus you can use my code for an additional $10 off, which is LFF10. I'll put it up here and it'll also be in the description. But before we get into this vlog, I want to show you a shirt that you might want to get the man in your life. This is the new Garden Guy shirt from GREENSTALK. Thank you, GREENSTALK. They sent my husband a shirt. Honey, how does it feel?
Feels good.
As soon as he took it out of the package, he was like, man, this feels so soft.
It's a nice shirt. Feels real good. Fits real good. I can work in it.
So it's a thumbs up. So if you haven't already gotten a shirt for the special guy in your life, then go and grab this shirt to give. Again, if you have husbands that are nice enough to you to work in the garden, if that's not their jam, then make sure that you do something nice for them. And if it is their jam, then make sure you really do something nice for them. But let's go ahead and watch this vlog. You're in for an adventure. Hey, it's another day's journey. And I'm glad about it. Y'all, it has been so hot that I have not been able to be out here in the middle of the day. So literally, I have maybe 45 minutes before it gets dark. I've already been in the back of the house. Now I'm in the tunnel. And I came out here, thought I'd turn the camera on. We can chit chat, do a couple of things. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. I got plenty of things that I need to get done. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do first. So I want to plant some lettuce. We need to prune the tomatoes, and I'm also curious about how these onions out here are doing. Like, I've been wanting to pull them. I just want to see, do I have any onions? That's what I really want to see. Which way? Okay. Let's do the lettuce first, because that's relatively easy and we can go ahead and just knock that out. If you're brand new here, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I'm in Tennessee. I'm in Zone 7B. Right now, we're in my high tunnel. We have 3 growing spaces that we plant in on the homestead. And so right now, I'm in the tunnel. We have 6 raised beds, 5 rows that are 45 feet long. The total high tunnel is 30 by 96. So in my first bed is where I had lettuce from the fall and winter. We ripped all of that lettuce out because it bolted and went to seed. And now I'm going to plant some more lettuce. Now you may be saying, how are you in Tennessee in Zone 7B planting lettuce in June? Watch me. Okay, let me turn the camera around. Let me show you what we're going to do. We're going to get the rest of these weeds out of the bed. It's just a few. We'll go ahead and pull these up. They're going to come up pretty easily. These are just, you know, leftover. This whole bed was lettuce. I'm not going to redo the whole bed as lettuce. I'm only going to do half of the bed as lettuce just because I don't know that I'm going to need that much during the summer. We do sell it as well, but when we're not selling it, a whole bed of lettuce, it's hard for us to go through all together. I'm pretty sure I amended this bed earlier, so I don't think I'm going to amend it again. And I'm going to show you what we're going to plant. I have weeded the bed. I have flattened it out. We had already amended it like a couple of months ago when we added in the fresh lettuce. I'm not going to add anything to it just yet. I've made 2 burrows or furrows, if you want to call it that, here and here. And this is where I'm going to direct seed the lettuce. I've straightened out my irrigation to put the lettuce right along where the irrigation is. And we're going to direct sow it. So first, let me tell you the reason why we're going to do this. Okay, so normally I start my lettuce seeds and then I transplant. So that way I can put them exactly where I want them to be. So it's been a while since I've direct sowed, but obviously you can direct sow lettuce. The reason why I'm direct sowing is because I've been back in town a week or so, and I was relishing the fact that I was in town for like a whole week, and I should have started the seeds so they would have some size on them so I could put them in the ground before I go out of town again. Well, got to go out of town again. So I'm going to direct sow these because this is on drip irrigation. I am hoping and praying that I'll sow the seeds, and by the time I come back, they will have germinated and we'll be on our way. So that's the reason why I'm direct sowing. I have pelleted seeds, and the seeds that I'm doing are heat tolerant. So the number one lettuce seed that I'm doing in my area is Muir, M-U-I-R. It is from Johnny's, but I'm also going to do a couple of Salanova. Let me see if I got the seeds. Yeah, they're in my pocket. That I'm going to try. Some of these I have not tried in the summer, so some of this is an experiment. If you were here with me last year, you know I experimented growing lettuce all year round, and we did. We pretty much had lettuce all year round. This is probably the only gap where I have not had lettuce in this bed, but I do have lettuce in a bed over there, and I have some lettuce outside. So I've been able to pull lettuce for salads and sandwiches, so I technically still have lettuce. I just don't have it in abundance, like in a whole bed. But the Muir lettuce, let me find that one. M-U-I-R. So this is a heat tolerant lettuce. It does pretty well in my zone. But then I'm also going to do a Salanova red sweet crisp, green sweet crisp, and then a red butter and a green butter, and then also Adriana. So I've done all of these before. I have done them mostly in the fall, but I can't remember which one of these on the Johnny's site said that they were heat tolerant. I don't remember which ones. You can just go to Johnny's and look up heat tolerant if you're interested in trying some yourself. But I'm going to do them all because I've done them all before, and we're going to see what happens, right? But I know the Muir, I know the M-U-I-R definitely is one that is heat tolerant and that will last through our temperatures. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and direct seed. I'll probably do a row of green and a row of red, or I'll alternate, and we'll just get them in the ground. Okay, I got the lettuce done. So what I ended up doing was I did one whole row of the Muir. That's to the far, all the way to the far right. And then in the second row, I alternated the red and the green, just for aesthetics. That way we can see a whole row of Muir and how that performs versus, because I know that one is heat tolerant and I can't remember what the other ones were, but that way we can compare a whole row of Muir to a whole row of the other stuff. So I did red and green sweet crisp, magenta, red and green butter, and then Adriana is all in that row. And I just did a few seeds of each one. It should alternate red and green. So the drip will be on in a little while. I'm going to go ahead and just water it just a little bit, but hopefully it's in the right spot. No birds will eat the seed. It'll germinate and all will be well. And we'll have lettuce hopefully in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Now, if you're still wondering and confused and shaking your head about how am I growing lettuce in the middle of the summer, or about approaching the middle of the summer in my zone, I've mentioned this before, but in case you're new here, look up Ray Tyler. The name of his farm is Rose Creek Farms. He is in Selmer, Tennessee, which is like an hour and a half from me. I did a workshop with him a year ago, which was money well spent. And he is the master and has a book and a master class about growing lettuce year round. And so what I'm showing you is what I have learned from him. But again, I'm not showing you all the detail because there's a method to how you do it. And I don't have time to go through it all right here. But if you're interested, if you're in a hot climate, you're like, how can you grow lettuce all year round? Then I would encourage you to go find his information. You can buy the masterclass, you can buy the book, and he goes through it in great detail, tells you how to do it, what to plant, the varieties, the whole 9 yards. Now, the workshop that I went to was not just about lettuce. It was about just farming in general, and I learned a ton, but that was just a piece of it, and he gave us his book as part of it. Have I read the book? I haven't. I've only read like certain pieces, like, oh, okay, now what am I supposed to do? So I have not read it in its entirety. So I'm not the master or the expert, but he is. So that's how I have enough gumption to try it, because he does it and he's like an hour and a half from me. He is in my zone. So I know that it can be done because I saw it with my own eyes. So if you're interested in that, go look up Ray Tyler, Rose Creek Farms. You'll find his information all on Instagram, Facebook. You can buy the book, masterclass, all the things. And I'm not getting paid to say that at all, but his class, his on-farm workshop was phenomenal. Now, let's go see what else we can get our hands into in the tunnel. Things are looking good in the tunnel. It's been a week since I have pruned my tomatoes, and so I'm going to go through and prune the suckers because I already see suckers growing. Let me see if I can get you a closer look. Okay, you can see here is a sucker. It's like if you see the plant and you see the V or the Y in the plant, like this part here, we're going to take off. That is the sucker. Now, look at that. You can plant this in the ground and get you a whole nother tomato plant if you wanted to. I have done that. I did that a lot last year. I planted a lot of these and made me some extra tomato plants. I've only done it once this summer because one of my plants actually broke from the string or died or something, and I took a sucker and put it in the ground, and it's growing just fine. So you can definitely use these if you want to. I don't have any space and I don't need them, so I'm not keeping them. But you want to prune. If you have indeterminate tomatoes, you want to prune your suckers. Here's the reason why. The plant is trying to produce fruit, right? So this sucker will become a whole nother tomato plant and start producing fruit. What happens is that your plant, I'm not going to say gets confused, but it's trying to produce fruit everywhere when you don't prune. So you're going to have more tomatoes, but they're going to be smaller, and the energy is going all over the place, right? It's going to every sucker trying to produce fruit. When you prune, you redirect that energy to just the main stem, just the main dominant stem, and produce fruit from there. So you redirect the energy. So imagine all the energy is going all here, and you zero in on the main stem. You get less fruit, but the fruit is bigger, right? The other component of pruning is that you get less disease, right? The more you prune, you keep the open airflow, it's less resistant to disease and to pests. So every single week, I come in and I prune my tomatoes. I am on a weekly schedule. I normally do it on Sundays or Mondays. I come through and just prune all my tomatoes and then clip them up the trellis if they need to be clipped up further. So what you're going to see me doing here is just going to do a quick prune. I may not have time to get them up on to clip them, but if not, I'll do that tomorrow. And some of them are getting taller than me, then my husband's gonna have to do it. But overall, the tomato plants are looking really, really good. Real life, you just saw, hopefully you saw what happened. I was pruning the sucker, it was close to the string, and I got the string by accident, and my string broke and my plant is on the ground. I do that at least once or twice a season, but I have been priding myself that I have not done it this season. I've been so extra careful about where I'm cutting, and I cannot believe I just did that. Let me show you. Y'all can't believe this happened. My plant looking so good. Look how tall it is. Oh. I have to get my husband, and he's not home, so he's gonna have to do it tomorrow. It'll be fine overnight. I hope and pray. When I tell you that makes me so mad, oh, I hate to see my pretty plant laying on the ground like that. It got fruit on it, it's looking good. Hopefully it'll be okay till tomorrow when he can hang it back up. Just as soon as I cut it, I'm like, oh, I got the string. This is part of it, y'all. Let me keep going. Y'all, this video is turned into something. Y'all are not gonna believe this. Look at this. Do you see that? That's off a sucker I pruned. That is a hornworm. I have never ever seen a hornworm in my tunnel in my garden this early in the season. They usually don't come until the end of the season. I am so outdone. Look at this. Y'all. That's unbelievable. He about to die today. I really am outdone. That just goes to show you, you got to walk your garden every day. You got to always be looking. And y'all, my plants look so healthy. Like, I don't see any hornworm damage at all. I'm looking. Oh, I see a little bit right over there. Unbelievable. Oh, you best believe. Okay, the sun's about to catch me. We're going to finish this video tomorrow. Which, today or tomorrow is the day that I fertilize as well. So we'll talk about that. But we will be putting on something to hopefully get rid of these hornworms, because I have not seen them this early in the season. in the last 2 to 3 years. Like, I have not. Usually they come at the very end of the season. I had aphids last year, but I did not have hornworms until like maybe August, like when the plants are just about to just be done. We're not, no. It's too early. I haven't even harvested any tomatoes. No, the hornworms have got to go. So on this video, it's so funny because I see you always gotta listen to the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit was like, you need to do a video about maintenance, about just things that you do every single week in your garden. I'm like, nobody want to hear about that. But it's really, this is part of it, because what I was going to talk about was the schedule that I try to keep, you know, on my garden. Like, I walk my garden every day that I'm in town. I just walk and I look and just see how things are going. You should always do that. Second thing is, I prune every single week, right? I have a day that I prune, which is usually Sundays or Mondays. Then I fertilize every single week. I usually do that on Fridays or Mondays, depending on, you know, if I'm in town and all that. So those are the things that I do every single week. Now, there's some other things that I need to add into there, like cultivating. I'm really bad at cultivating, but I need to add that into my weekly schedule. But the point of the video was going to be, what are the things that you're doing on a regular basis? Trying to get in the habit of maintaining your garden and trying to be efficient as possible. Y'all know I talk a lot on this channel about efficiency, organization, and intentionality. That's my jam. I'm still so outdone that I got a hornworm. Not that I shouldn't have one, but I haven't seen one that early in the season. So it really shocked me, and I wasn't anticipating that. And I only saw it because I was pruning that sucker. So where there's one, there's probably plenty. And I see some hornworm damage across the way. Let me see if I can show you. I'm losing daylight. Okay, you see that right there? Where it looks like it's broke off? That is probably hornworm damage. Right there. I don't really see it anywhere else. Everything else is looking very good in terms of the leaves and all of that. And the thing with the hornworms, they blend in so you can't hardly see them. I wonder if that's some right there, like on the very tip. You have to almost come out here at nighttime and use a black light to see them and then pick them off. But this is unbelievable, y'all. Unbelievable. Okay, guys. It is the next day. It was dark. As you know, I was losing light as I found the hornworms. So off camera, I ended up finding four total. And then I came out here this morning and we found another one. Y'all, I'm so outdone. So what I did last night was I sprayed all the tomato plants with Captain Jack's. I'll try to show you the bottle before I end the video. But it's Captain Jack's Red Label. It's an organic spinoside organic spray that you can use. And now what I'm about to do is I'm about to spray neem oil, because last night my neem oil wasn't out here. So a couple of things to note. One, walk your gardens every day that you can. Look for damage, right? Like, I'm looking at my plants. They look good. They look beautiful. But I hadn't even noticed that there was some hornworm damage. And again, it was at the very top of one of those plants. But I'm doing like a general overview and I'm like, man, everything looks good. And I did look at the underside of my leaves because I'm checking for aphids, because that's what I had the last time. So be very careful and look for leaves missing, leaves curling, anything that looks like an insect has been there. Number two, make sure that you have whatever supplies you're going to use for insect damage. Make sure that you have it on hand. Like my neem oil, I couldn't find it last night down here. I had some at the house, which is why I couldn't do it last night, but I did have the Captain Jack's. So my point is make sure that whatever you use, whether you use Dawn and make your own mix with soapy water, or you handpick, whatever it is, make sure that you have the stuff where your garden is so that you can readily get to it and not have to go find it, make it, and all the things. So now what we're about to do is I'm about to spray neem oil. And you want to make sure that you dilute your neem oil. I'm saying this because I did not know this as a new gardener, and I burned up my plants because I didn't know. It wasn't until my plants burned up and somebody said, did you dilute that with water? I'm like, well, no, I didn't, because I thought it came in a bottle. I just spray it. So I have diluted my neem oil in this application. This spray is a perfect application, so I don't have to put it in my big backpack sprayer because everything doesn't need neem oil. I'm only going to spray my tomatoes where I have seen damage. So I have about 4 teaspoons and 2 quarts of water, and we're going to go through and spray and just see if we have any more damage as well. Okay, I emptied the whole thing. So that did both rows of tomato plants. And another thing that I want to mention is, when you look up what deters hornworms, it'll say basil, marigold, dill, or like some companion plants. And y'all have all of those in here, all of them. Now the dill is in a raised bed, but I have marigolds and basil interplanted in between my rows of tomatoes. You guys saw me do that. You've seen the basil and marigolds. My point is that nothing is foolproof, right? We do the best as we can as gardeners, and we try to create the perfect environment for growth, for abundance, and no insects, but insects can still come as evidence. Now, as I was spraying, I did not see any more hornworms. Now, again, it can be hard to see in the daylight because they blend in. But like this morning, my husband and I came out here just to see if I still had tomato plants. And he found one as he was hanging up one of the plants. Not the one that he was hanging up, but across from it. So it was the same one that I plucked one off of last night. I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you the damage again, just because it's a little bit more daylight. So in case, if you've never had hornworm damage or you don't know what it looks like, I want to make sure that you can see what it looks like. Hopefully you can see that. It's not as bright as I would want it to be, but you see how that has no leaves on it. It's just bare compared to that one has leaves. So they start to eat the leaves, and they can pretty much decimate a plant within 24 to 48 hours. So you can see they got all the leaves up there, but you still come down. I still have tomatoes and leaves are all down here, but I guess they were starting at the top and working their way down. So again, I wasn't looking at the tops of my plants. I was just doing a general, cursory overview like that. And then look again on this plant that's right beside it. You can see where that's some damage there as well. So now you know what it looks like. And let me show you this Captain Jack's. This is what I used last night. Captain Jack's dead bug. Hornworms are not listed, but I did look it up on Google and it does kill hornworms. So I sprayed that on all the plants last night. And then tonight I followed up with some neem oil. So I'll watch it for the next day or so. And I'm going to pray because I'm about to be out of town in a few days. And I pray that I don't have an infestation or something happens while I'm gone. We're going to pray over these plants. But y'all, I'm telling you, the Holy Spirit had told me, do a video on maintenance and all that. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. And again, I don't know that this video was about maintenance, but my point is this, is that, let me say this, have a system. I talk a lot about intentionality, being intentional in your garden. And y'all, the word just left me. There's 3 things that I talk about all the time. It just left me. It's been a long day. But basically what I'm saying is making sure, organization, making sure that you have systems, that you have organization, whatever fits your schedule. Have an organized way that you are tending to your garden. Have days where you're fertilizing, have days when you're pruning, have days when you're walking around your garden and just looking to see what is going on so that you notice things more immediately than not, so that you can jump on it and you can try to corral it, fix it, and all the things, right? So have you some type of maintenance weekly plan. And again, had I not been pruning, I don't know that I would have saw it. It actually, the part that I pruned had the hornworm on it. So I'm thankful that I saw it, because I was just telling y'all and bragging on my plants and not knowing that I had a little issue. So anyway, I feel like this is what you call garden blunders, things that you don't expect. It appears to be too early in the season. I've never had them this early. But that's the part of gardening, is that you don't have the same results every single time. You can do the exact same things. You can do better things and still sometimes have results that don't match what you're doing. That's part of the journey. So be encouraged, right? Be encouraged. Let me know if you have questions or comments. If you have battled hornworms and there's something different that you've tried that's organic, let me know in the comments. I would love to know, and I will definitely keep you guys abreast of what's going on here. Y'all, gardening is a journey. It is a journey. This is my 4th year, and that's a first on, you know, this early in the season. I have had hornworms, but never this early. But by God's grace, hopefully it's going to be okay. But remember, gardening is a journey. Let's grow together. I'll see you next time, friend.